What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with some more Dead Kennedys. We're going to go back to their album Plastic Surgery Disasters, which is one of the few that I still have on vinyl. I mentioned it before, I used to have a whole lot of punk rock vinyl. I had to sell some of it. Most of the albums that I sold I already had on CD, so it's not like I lost the album overall. But, it used to be nice to have a lot of punk rock vinyl. But this is one that I was able to hang on to. Shout out once again to Jello Biafra's Alternative Tentacles label. This is Virus 27, with Virus being the catalog system for Alternative Tentacles. So we're going to listen to the final tune on this album. It's called Moon Over Marin. If you didn't know, Marin County, it's in Northern California. It's right across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. It's a more affluent area, and that definitely ties into the theme of the song, which is to say, as far as I can tell, and these things are never definitive, but as far as I can tell, the song is about a sort of hypothetical future in which humankind's environmental degradation of planet Earth has intensified and gotten to the point where entire ecosystems have failed. Fish are dying on the beaches, and they're just, dead in sea life in large numbers. And I think the song speaks about an oil spill. A tanker dashed itself against the rocks, and now it's innards of oil are leaking out into the sea, and ultimately it talks about white ooze bubbling up from the soil. So the level of environmental degradation has intensified, and in light of human-driven climate change, the way that ecosystems are failing, and certain species are leaving areas earlier, leaving other species, lack of food, which leads to their numbers dwindling, which leads to other environmental effects, and so on. It feels like there's a whole other layer that could have been added here, but again, this was written in the early 80s. Nevertheless, it seems to be about a person who is from this wealthier part of Northern California, Marin County, and they have in some ways avoided the worst effects of what's happened across the bay in San Francisco and among people who are less affluent. And this person, despite the way the Earth has gone to hell, is still finding time to exercise, and he's out, jogging on his private beach, because apparently this part of the beach is sort of cordoned off from the rabble. So in a way, it sort of speaks to their song Forest Fire, also on this same album. But yeah, he's basically just, going for a jog, and he actually has to wear a gas mask during part of the run, but, he's trying to seemingly be in good spirits, or at least ignore the sort of suffering and the environmental pollution around him. So again, it's that classic sort of thing with Jello Biafra's lyrics, where it creates a very interesting visual image, but it's also sort of biting and sarcastic and wicked at the same time. It just really fits into his lyrical paradigm. So I do love it. Musically, it's interesting. I've heard people describe this. I forget where I read it. I think I've heard a couple of similar comments in this regard, but people have called this Dead Kennedys' ballad, or the closest thing they ever got to writing a ballad. So I would say it has a more kind of melodic punk rock feel than some of their other tunes. It's certainly less adrenaline fueled. It's not Jello rage shouting a critique or something. It's this, the way he sings is a little more melodic, and it's a bit more in this, kind of irony, speaking from the perspective of someone who, despite all the destruction around him, is still sort of well, at least we're not like the people across the bay in San Francisco. So yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a different interpretation, but let's get to it. This is Dead Kennedys' Moon Over Marin from their album Plastic Surgery Disasters. And for the record, that was the end of the song before it. I do love that guitar riff. There's emotion in it.
A crowded future stings my eyes. I feel one time to exercise. A uniform with two eyes stripes. Unlock my section of the sand.
got like nostalgic flashbacks of my late teens, early 20s. Listen to this. That like oil slick on the waves. Section just feels quintessential Dead Kennedy, like guitar solo / interlude section. Try not to step on any bones. Remember, the original version of this album, which I think this is, has like this outro. It's like I think it's Jello talking. I don't remember. It's like a fake PSA. Let's see if it's on here. Alright, it's not Jello.
Don't forget, a psychiatrist is on duty 24 hours a day in the field room, just up from the parking garage. Drink plenty of water when you take these. Now you can relax and return to your job.
Yeah, no more remote work for you people. I think it just goes endlessly. Yeah, so we'll kill it there. But yeah, I do enjoy that sort of, dystopian. It reminds me, actually, there's a George Lucas movie he made before Star Wars. It's called like THX 118, something like that. I think that's right. It's some like alphanumeric sequence, but it's about this, hyper dystopian, very Orwellian, misinformation type of future, or sci-fi story. And yeah, I don't know, it fits some of the dialogue in that film, some of it read by Donald Pleasance, I should say. It sort of fits with that ending bit. So yeah, I do enjoy the song a lot. Like I said, I understand why people call it, sort of Dead Kennedy's ballad, or the closest thing they got to one. It kind of does have that feel, but of course, the way they would do a ballad is to have it be sort of about this wicked dystopian environmental hellscape, and so it just seems to fit perfectly with their catalog and their sort of approach to songwriting, even if it does have a slightly different sound than their other tunes. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this album. Let me know if there's a tune on here that I haven't reacted to. I've done a few now. I know I did Forest Fire. I think I did Terminal Preppy. So I've done a couple of them, but I think there's, the majority of the album I still haven't reacted to. So let me know if there's one on here you like, or a different Dead Kennedy song, or just a different punk rock song. I'm still working, there's some requests that had come in a little while ago, and I'm working on getting like physical copies of the album, and I do try to keep up with records and other things, and I'm also trying to pay rent and so on. So the reality is some of these things I'm in a slower process of acquiring, but I have written down every request I've gotten. I'm trying to get to them all, so have patience if there's a request I haven't gotten to. I promise you I am on the case. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching. I do appreciate it. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you next time.